Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our October 5th regular meeting of the Pitt County Board of Education. At this time, I will call the meeting to order, and I will take a moment to call roll. Most of us are present in the room, but we do have Mary Blount Williams participating via Zoom. Anna Barrett Smith.
Here.
Amy Cole.
Here.
Benjie Forrest.
Here.
Caroline Doherty.
Here.
Mary Blount Williams.
Here.
Melinda Fagundus.
Here.
Tracy Everett Lenz.
Here.
And Worth Forbes.
Here.
Okay, we are all present and in attendance. At this time, Anna Barrett will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence.
Ma'am. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we go into our moment of silence, we'd like to remember that we've had the tragic loss of a student, a North Pitt senior, Ontez Harris, and so we'd like to remember his family, friends, teammates, coaches, as they go through this difficult time. Also like to just continue to lift up our teachers and our students as they're back in school, and continue to wish for them good health and just our appreciation for their willingness to do what they do on behalf of our students. So if you'd join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, the agenda is in front of all of you. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the agenda from Benjie and a second from Melinda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand, or Ms. Williams, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The motion carries unanimously. We will continue on with the agenda. The next item on the agenda is public expression, and I believe we just have one item that our public information officer, Ms. Jennifer Johnson, is going to share with us.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's great to see everyone. It feels like a normal meeting for once. So it's great to enjoy that on the beautiful October evening. Just wanted to remind everyone that we just celebrated National Hispanic Heritage Month and had some schools that did some wonderful things. October is National Principals Month, so we do want to express our appreciation for our principals and our assistant principals and the amazing job that they do every day in our county. We are celebrating National Bullying Prevention Month, very serious topic for us and our kids, and we also have some great resources this month for cyberbullying, since we have lots of virtual students and families out there operating virtually for us. So we will be providing lots of materials this month, and lots of schools doing some awareness events. National School Lunch Week will be the 12th through the 16th. We always enjoy that and have a great school nutrition team. And again, Bosses Day is the 16th of this month, so thank you to our board who do employ all of us at Pitt County Schools, and wanted to wish you a happy Bosses Day early. Mostly I wanted to cover the immunization requirements, so if you could put up the slide on immunization requirements for us. Thank you. All right, so everyone can see that. Just wanted to remind our parents that immunizations are now due for all students. We have some new immunizations, or one new immunization this year, so let me just take a minute to remind you of the immunizations. We do have the schedule here, and so our kindergarten does require a health assessment and these immunizations for enrollment. Those are usually handled through our enrollment process for our new kindergarten babies. And so we do encourage our parents who are newly enrolling to make sure that you get a health assessment and all of those immunizations. Again, those are now due. 7th grade has a couple of immunizations as well. The two on the bottom of that list, the Tdap and the meningococcal, Conjugate is due for 7th grade, middle school. Some families make sure we're not forgetting that we need to take those 7th graders to the doctor and get those immunizations for 7th grade. 12th grade, we do have a new immunization this year, and that is the meningococcal conjugate. Again, another installment of that, another vaccine for that, another dose of that. That's the correct term there. And want to make sure our 12th graders do know that. Our high schools have done a good job of pushing that information out there, but if there are parents who are watching tonight, we want to remind our parents to make sure that you're talking to your physician. We are currently in a grace period for completion of those immunizations for kindergarten, 7th grade, and 12th grade, but they are now due. These are due actually for our face-to-face and for our virtual students. Just wanted to remind our families that our vaccines are scheduled by, they're age appropriate, and they're scheduled by the appropriate age and not just for grade level. Basically, our school system is just a help and a resource and an accountability piece and information for our families of how to get them, but really it is the safest to have the vaccinations by the appropriate age, which happens to fall kindergarten, 7th grade, and now 12th grade. It is a state law as a requirement to attend school with your vaccinations, so make sure that our families do know that that is occurring. Again, we are in the grace period. We do need to get all of those vaccinations in. We are running a campaign. Today we just released a great video that was hosted by Parents for Public Schools and had Dr. Kimberly Hardy from the health department. And she really talked about the importance of vaccines, why we have vaccines, what they're for, and then not just a reminder for the vaccines that are due now for 7th and 12th grade, but just a reminder that none of our generation has really had to live through measles, mumps, rubella, and that we're getting a little bit of a taste of that with COVID-19, but none of us have lived through that. And so we sometimes forget the importance of vaccines and why we have them. So we asked Dr. Kimberly Hardy to lead us in that and answer some parent questions. So if you have questions about the deadlines, where to get vaccines, how you can find out why it's important, is it safe to get vaccines now during a pandemic? She answers all of those questions for you. It's a great 30-minute, well worth the watch campaign video there for it. We'll release some FAQs. We'll just have constant reminders throughout the month as this grace period ends, and we really want to urge we'll have some clinics as well. But we really want to urge our families to contact their physician or the health department to get those vaccines and also to get the flu vaccine. It's very important as well for this during this time, and especially as cold and flu season is starting, it's very important to get those flu shots. So thank you for allowing me to address you today, and I'll turn it over to the next agenda item.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's actually great to have such a short agenda this month. I guess that's the benefit of meeting, it seems like every week. We've already taken care of so much business already this month. But the only item on our agenda is the consent items, which are before you now, which are made up of board minutes that you should have all received in assembly to read through. The second reading of multiple policies, which Melinda has already presented at previous board meetings, our budget resolution for the upcoming year, and the DPI facility needs survey, both of which were presented at our last work session. So if I'd like to know what the pleasure of the board is in approving the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, have a motion from Anna Barrett to approve the consent agenda,
I'll second it.
and a second from Melinda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand, except Ms. Williams, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The motion carries unanimously. The consent agenda is approved. And at this time, we just have closing comments, and we will lead off with Dr. Linker.
I'd just like to follow up on what Ms. Johnson mentioned briefly about this is National Principals Month, so just give a shout out to all of our principals. We're doing an amazing job every day. It's just, just over and over and over, but they're staying on top of it. So it's a great group to work with, and I appreciate all of them. Thank you.
Okay, and let's start over here. Worth, we'll go to you since you're always last with the W in your name.
I would also like to congratulate the principals and just give them, as you say, a shout out of all the things that they do. And so many times you don't know what principals are doing behind the scenes to be able to keep the lid on a tough situation. And every day that they come to school, they don't have any idea what that day is going to bring. I mean, that can be something from a neighborhood that's brought in, or catastrophe in regarding a child, to deal with a loss of a child. So I appreciate all that the principals do. And then also want to commend teachers. I think teachers, it's good for teachers to support their principals. And it's also good that principals support the teachers. It's got to be a working relationship between the two. And also the parents that are involved there. And it's just, if you've got a good principal that's really involved in instruction, hands-on, making sure that the school's running smooth, you always see usually a good quality education, because you have those teachers, number one, who like the principal, and therefore if you've got somebody that you like and respect, you're going to work harder. And I think that's it. It just pays off. And the ones that are benefiting are our students. And that's what it's all about. So, and I just want to thank everyone for all that they're doing in keeping our students safe and following the procedures and the guidelines, the health guidelines that they're supposed to follow. And I think Pitt County's done an excellent job in working through this coronavirus, and it's just I think everyone is staying on top of it, and that's what we've got to do. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Benjie.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just would like to echo those same sentiments. I would like to thank the faculty, the staff, administration, parents, students, and everyone involved with our school year and the way that we've had to maneuver through the pandemic and those mandates that have been given out by the executive office of the governor, and having to make sure that we work within that framework, and at the same time having the courage, and I call it courage, Madam Chairman, to have the local autonomy that we have used to create our own system, not the governor's system, our system here in Pitt County within that framework. And I want to thank you. I want to thank this board and the superintendent and everyone that's involved with this for giving us the opportunity to continue with that local autonomy. Because I think because we went out and we did those things, and we did them independently, we did them with courage, we did them with safety first, I think Pitt County has shown that we are a top 10 county in this state when it comes to educating our young people.
Thank you, Benjie. Tracy?
I'd just like to echo the same sentiment to express my gratitude for our principals that are so crucial in setting the tone for the climate of the school. And so they played such a crucial role in that, especially during this pandemic. I mean, this has been some unprecedented challenges like no other for them. So I'd like to extend my gratitude and appreciation for them, and just to echo the sentiment of continuing to keep the North Pitt High School students, family in your thoughts, and surrounding them with support.
Hannah Barrett?
I want to say there's a phrase that I keep hearing, and I've heard it from teachers, I've heard it from principals, I've heard it from parents, and that's, we're going to make it work. And I just am so grateful for the principals, where the leadership starts in the building, the teachers, the students, and even the parents who have had to think outside the box on how to make this work. And I know that there have been people who may not have agreed with decisions that have been made. They may have felt a certain way, but in this county, people are making it work, and I appreciate that because it's what we have to do on behalf of our students. And so I'm super impressed when I'm seeing principals out there. They're so nimble. I mean, they really are. They're going one direction, and then they turn and go another direction as is needed. And I'm just seeing it over and over again. I'm seeing parents try and support each other as they're trying to get their kids through virtual learning. It's a team effort, and I know that's cliche, but it really, really is, and I'm proud of our team.
Thank you, Anna Barrett. Mary?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I too would also like to thank the principals and the assistant principals, not only in my district, but throughout the districts for their flexibility and they're adjusting on the fly and really willing to learn the information that they need to make sure that our students are successful in whatever category, they are placed in. I would also like to thank you all and, everyone to keep lifting us up in prayer on the north side. We've had 3 deaths of former students within the last 3 months. That has been just devastating to our community as a whole over here north of the river. So I would ask that you keep the families in prayer, the Harris family in prayer, and to keep the ones in the community that is truly affected by this young man's death. So thank you all.
Caroline?
Yes, I'd like to echo those sentiments. My prayers are with the family of Montez. I know that it's quite a devastating blow for everyone that knew him, and he's taken too soon. Just to give some examples for some of the appreciation that's being shared tonight for our principals and assistant principals. I'll talk to a couple principals today. One told me that that he's taken the temperature of all of his staff as they come in the door. He said, I've done that from the very beginning. He said, because I want to connect with each one of them every day, and I want them to see me wearing my mask and being as distanced as I can be and being a good role model. And I think that's pretty amazing for a principal to be able to do that at the door every day, early in the morning. He's obviously got to be the first one there. And another principal, she's got a staff member who's got an infant at home. The staff member's isolating in her isolation period right now because of COVID infection, and her husband is deployed overseas. And she's new to the area, so this principal is actually delivering her groceries every few days. So those things, taking the temperatures of staff and delivering groceries to staff member, that's not really in principal's job description. They are stepping above and beyond because they really care about their staff, and they're going the extra mile. And I think teachers also are being very creative about how they teach virtually and distance in the classroom and all that. I think our teachers and our principals and assistant principals are engaged in continuous quality improvement. They are trying their best to figure out how we can improve virtual instruction each and every day. And I'd like to extend that to our social workers as well. Got social workers going out to be very creative in finding the families of students who have yet to engage. And I think they're working with each other and with the families to help them get hotspots or whatever it is they need to make virtual learning work for them. So kudos to them all.
Thank you, Caroline. Amy?
I'm going to just agree with pretty much what everyone said, and thank you to our principals. Well, not only our principals and our assistant principals, but just to everyone. It's been a very trying, 7 months since all this stuff started, and we've all been and gone through a lot. And I think, as Anna Barrett said, it takes a team to make all of this stuff work, and I feel like we have a really great team in place. So just thank you for what everyone's doing, and just continuing to keep everybody safe. And again, echoing the prayers for the family of the young man at North Pitt. We're thinking of you and praying for you.
Melinda?
Echoing again the condolences to the family of the student at North Pitt High School, as well as the students and the staff at that school. It's got to be very difficult. It's difficult for the community. And because it was unexpected and tragic, I think it makes it that much harder. So we need to continue to remember his family and those that knew him. In regards to the board here, I want to thank everybody for being so supportive. I think we've had some tough decisions to make, and we've made, I think, good decisions. And that kind of leads down to the principals and the teachers. You know, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the kids that are students are going to reflect back on what happened during this pandemic. And I think when they look back, if they were students at Pitt County, they're going to see the leadership of especially the principals and the teachers, as far as what happened. And I guess it's maybe it's kind of neat, because, you know, 20 years from now, they might be living in another area, and they'll be with other people that lived in a different part of the country. And I hope when they compare stories, that their story's really going to stick out, that they had teachers and principals that cared and put them first and had a positive attitude, which hopefully will instill that in those students, to have a positive attitude when maybe things don't go the way you want it to, or you have no control. So thank you so much to everybody, especially the principals and the APs right now, since it is the month that we look, you know, and honor them. But also, I don't want to leave anybody else out, because we wouldn't be giving them the opportunity to do what they're doing if we hadn't made the tough decisions. And then last but not least, echoing Jennifer in terms of please get your flu shot if you haven't. They're available now, starting to give them out. So I would say, you know, get your shots.
Thank you. I'm always thankful to have the nurse on the board who's going to remind us all to get our shots. In the event of an apocalypse, I'm just going to say that I'm going to have a principal on my team every time, because it doesn't matter what is thrown at them. They're going to figure out, like Anna Barrett said, they're going to figure out how to make it work. Worth, you've been a principal, so you can be on my team. I'm just kidding. I'll have all of you on my team. But anyway, seriously, happy Principals Month to all of our principals. We know that we threw a lot at you, not necessarily us. This pandemic threw a lot upon all of us. And it started, I think, with the board making some tough decisions, and then Dr. Linker and his staff were probably completely overwhelmed, which flowed down to principals and then teachers. But here we are, starting to figure this out, and the wheels are rolling. We're moving forward with our academics and still keeping everybody safe, and that's really important. And I'm very thankful for the teamwork that has gone into play to make this happen, from all of us remaining very civil with each other, even at times when we disagreed. Dr. Linker, your leadership throughout the staff, throughout this pandemic, and your staff, and our principals and teachers. So thank you all very, very much for all of your efforts. I've enjoyed working with you, and I sense my time coming to a very short close with each of you. So I just want to express how much I appreciate you. I know this has been a very difficult time, and I'm so thankful to have worked alongside of each of you. And that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, Benjie.
I move that we adjourn.
I have a motion from Benjie to adjourn. Is there a second?
I second.
I'm assuming no discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed, like sign. We are adjourned.
We deserve the short.